Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. This is Sunil. Can you hear me? Please confirm in the chat box. Thank you, Naveen. Thank you, Pradeep, Kuldeep. Thank you, one and all. Manzur. Thank you very much for joining the sessions. Yes, let's stop the chat. Let's stop the chat. First, most important concern. There's still some participants who are not joined the WhatsApp group. So for them, I'm sharing you the WhatsApp group links. All the participants who are already in the 81 group, 81 hyphen, it can be any number, 81 hyphen 1, 2, 10, 15, any number, that's fine. Participants who are not part of the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group using the links which I'm sending you right now in the chat box. Okay, I just now sent one link. If that first link is full, please join the second link. If first link and second link both are full, then join the third link. Please do not join duplicate groups. Please do not join duplicate groups. If all the three links are full, then join the fourth link. Or the fifth. Please do not join duplicate groups. Okay, you should be any one among the group. Participants who are already in the group, please do not rejoin. Okay. So I'm sending you close to 5 or 6 groups. You can join in any one of the group which is available. Okay, that's it. So perfect. So what is our plan for today's session? Or what is our plan for today's session? We'll be learning how to create a Linux machine on AWS cloud. We'll be experiencing the tools called PuttyGen and Putty. We'll also experience the term called web server, which is very, very important. What is web server? We'll be creating web server in today's session. Especially non-technical people, you need to focus on this term called web server. We'll be learning how can we install web package. We'll have more discussion about security groups. So this is our plan for our today's session. So our plan for today's session is to experience the Linux machine. What did we discussed in the last lesson? Friends, what did we discussed in the last session? In the last session, we have learned how to create a Windows machine. Agree? In the last session, we have learned how can we create a, how did we create a Windows machine? How did we connect to that Windows machine? In today's session, we'll be learning how can we create a Linux machine. So this is our plan for our today's session. So before getting into practicals of today's session, so obviously let's have an interaction with some of the participants. Yes, let's have interaction with some of the participants, starting with Mohit Devara Shetty. Hi Mohit, how are you doing?
Yeah,
Good evening.
sir. Good evening, sir. Sir, at last time I created the Amazon AWS account, but
Last time in the sense yesterday.
No, before that dispatch.
Okay.
I discontinued for the reasons.
Okay.
I can't unable to create again virtual machine.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What is the error you're getting? Are you able to log into AWS?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'm getting to log into AWS, but asking the payment, sir.
Okay. Last time you have not used properly your AWS account. Okay. Okay. Yes, so you do one thing, Mohit. You ignore the AWS account which you have created in the last batch or something like that. Freshly create a new AWS account, Mohit.
Okay. Okay. Sir,
and
again,
don't ignore it. We should be very careful. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Next one, sir. I am recently completed BTech. I'm looking for a career. I'm from mechanical branch. I'm looking for.
Mohit, you are in mute. You need to
software stream. Yeah, I'm learning this AWS. What was the depth? How to learn to get a good job? How much?
AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate level. Whatever you are learning is enough. Okay.
So
I recommend.
Okay, sir. So can I contact you later by WhatsApp?
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mohit Sharma. Good evening, Mohit. How are you doing? I cannot hear you, Mohit. You are in mute right now. Check your audio settings. You are able to unmute, but we cannot hear you. Mohit, please check your audio settings. Rajkumar Kaniveni. Hi, Rajkumar. How are you doing?
Hi, sir.
Welcome to the session, Raj.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you. Yes, your question, please.
Yes, sir. This technology is totally new to me.
Okay. May I know your
Um,
experience?
uh, Actually, I have no experience. After my graduation, I went for government job preparation.
Okay. Now
And
you want to get back to IT industry.
yes, sir.
Okay. So please be focused. Okay. Any
Okay.
technical questions on whatever we have learned last session?
No, sir. That was totally clear. You
Okay.
have explained very well.
Thank you
I
very
really
much.
understood.
Thank you. Any technical questions, please raise your hand. Any technical questions, please raise your hand. Yes. Kiran Marapu.
Yeah, hi everybody. Hello, Sunil.
Hi,
Can you
Kiran.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Kiran. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well.
Thank you.
All right. So yesterday I raised one question in the Q&A chat as well, but I didn't get any answer. The question I asked is, once we create an account, AWS account, you said it is good for 1 year, right? So after 1 year, will that be automatically renewed for the next year, or do we have to manually renew it, or do we have to disable the account? In case if it automatically gets renewed, what is the price?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no concept of renewal, Kiran. Okay.
Mhm.
Once you create an AWS account now, it will be free for a period of 12 months.
Just 12 months,
After
right?
12 months,
So,
after 12 months, it will be converted to paid account. Okay.
okay.
Okay. So there's no concept of renewality. It will be converted to paid account. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's say you don't
So
want
do
to
we
make
have
any
to
payment. 1 minute.
Mhm.
If you don't want to make any payment, you can send an email saying that you want to close the AWS account. Okay. Or
Send an
otherwise, if you
email
do,
to
yeah, the AWS support
whom?
team. When you log in,
Okay.
automatically you'll have an option of customer support. Where you
Mhm.
can send an email, or otherwise you can ignore that. When when you ignore it, it automatically gets suspended.
Oh, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Thank you
Clear,
so much,
Kiran?
Sunil.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
May I know your experience?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You're doing well.
No, may I know your
Yep.
experience?
I have about 20 plus years of experience.
Okay.
Currently, I'm in USA.
Okay. Thank you, Kiran.
Mhm.
Ansari. Umar Ansari. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, Ansari. How are you
Yes,
doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are
You're
you?
from which location?
I'm from Mumbai, sir.
Okay. Yes. May I know your
Sir,
experience?
I am currently I have done BTech in electrical engineering.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Any technical question?
Yes, sir. I have the question. What is in first lecture? eh, There are three service: availability, scalability, and pay as you go.
Those are not
Yes.
services. Those are
Yes.
concepts.
Yes. Those are concepts. Then what is the meaning of pay as you go? Can you explain me?
The pay as you go basis is nothing but you need to pay for the amount of infrastructure you have to use. You have used it, Umar.
Okay.
Okay. Let's say you're using a Windows machine of 8 GB RAM for a period of 1 month. You have to pay for 1 month. If you're
Okay.
using only for 15 days, you have to pay for 15 days. If you're using for 1 day, you have to pay for 1 day. That's called pay as you go basis. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Clear?
Okay. Clear.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank.
Thank you. One more final call before getting into the today's session. Adnan Lodi. No questions. Fine. Manoj Kumar. Good evening, Manoj.
Hello.
Yes, Manoj, I can hear you.
Yeah. Good evening, Sunil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, Thanks for first of all, and
Thank you.
session is very good.
Thank you.
And one doubt, yesterday we have discussed regarding location. There is multiple
Okay.
location, geolocations.
You are right.
So yeah, but it is
Do you
some
remember
default.
yesterday we have created Windows machine, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So on which data center we have created? In which region do you remember?
Mumbai, it look like.
Yes, you are right. Yesterday we have created it in Mumbai
Great
region.
Mumbai
Okay.
location. Oh, so
1 minute.
that
Let me
is-
log in, Manoj.
Yeah.
Manoj, before continuing to your discussion, let me log in. So you know how to log in, isn't it? aws.amazon.com. Let's sign in.
Yeah. Yes. Console login.
One minute, please.
Yes. No.
What is the first page? The landing page is called as AWS Management Console, isn't it?
Yeah.
And yesterday we have discussed about a service called as EC2. So EC2 is all about
EC2.
creating virtual machines
Instance.
on AWS
Yeah.
cloud. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So this is how the EC2 machine dashboard looks like. Yes. So you're talking about the mission one. This is what we have created in the last session. Okay.
Yeah.
And these machines are created in Mumbai region. Yes. Your question now, Manoj.
Yeah. The region will be automatically AWS will select based on availability or
No,
how
you
it will
can. You have an option to change the. Let's say you don't want to create this in EC2 machine in Mumbai region. Let's say
No.
you want to create it in Singapore region. So you can go to switch the region. You can select the Singapore region.
Okay.
You can see here, Manoj.
Yeah.
So you can select any region and can create missions. Understand the concept of regions. But just as
Okay.
you have asked the question, Manoj, how many EC2 missions are there in the Mumbai region? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Agree?
Yeah.
So these are the 5 missions which are created in which data center? Mumbai data center.
Mumbai.
Let's say you don't want to create it in Mumbai. Let's say client requirement is to create the missions in the Singapore region because let's say it's a Singapore based client. So let's go to Singapore region.
Okay. There is any difference
1
while
minute, please. 1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute, please. As you can see, right now you're pointing to which region? Singapore region. You do not have any instances in this region. Right now, Singapore is a data center we have not created. We have created missions in the Mumbai region. If you want to create Singapore missions in Singapore region, you can go to launch instances and proceed with the same thing what we have created yesterday. Okay. So
Yes.
I want to go back to Mumbai region. Clear? Clear. Yes.
Yeah,
Next
got
question.
it.
I think more
Yeah,
Manoj.
there is in real time. Generally, if different regions we are creating different
We are
instance.
not creating regions. We are creating instances. Yes.
Yeah, we are creating instance different regions.
Yes. Please proceed, Manoj. I cannot hear you.
Able
Hello?
to hear?
Manoj, yes, please tell me.
Yeah. If we are creating different region, different instance, for example, if I am in India, I can create some other country in different instance. So while working, there is a speed or any delay, anything will happen.
The first point, who is the decision maker of where to create the instance, which we will not take the decision. The client wants to take the decision. Okay.
Okay.
If the client is if my client is a Canada based client, okay, assuming my client is in Canada, they are starting one business like online shopping site, something like Amazon in Canada. They target customers in Canada, so obviously they create their infrastructure in Canada only. Obviously, so we are not the decision makers. Clear, Manoj?
Yeah, it's clear.
We should be in a position to connect any region and create the infrastructure.
Yeah. And one more thing, whatever you displaying some instance, if you select the display tags, all the tabs, there is a difference from my laptop view from you view.
Which tabs you're talking about? I'm selecting
For
this
example,
particular
select
mission.
mission.
You're talking about description, status check,
Yeah,
monitoring, and
yeah,
tags.
only 4 tabs here. For me, it is showing details, security, networking, storage, and all those things. And
Okay.
instance status, it's showing their color, orange, red.
So the
green,
user
like-
interface can be customized. We'll be seeing it soon. Okay, that's not a problem. Okay.
Okay. So account is same.
Account
There
is
is
same.
not.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you,
Manoj.
Sunil.
Okay. Perfect. And remember, it's always good practice. Once you're done working with the instance, please stop the instance. Whenever you want, you can start the instance. Okay. Whenever you want, let's say this is the machine which I've stopped in the last session. Whenever you want to use this particular instance, you can select the instance and click on. You have an option called actions and you can start the instance. Okay. And I can start the instance. Remember, there's one more status called terminated. When you don't want the instance permanently, when you don't want, I don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want this machines permanently. I want to remove it. So there's an option called terminate. Whenever you don't want the instance actions instances, there's an option called terminate. When you terminate, the machine will be removed permanently. After probably after 3-4 hours, even this records will not be available. It will be completely cleared. So that's the concept of stopping and terminating. Whenever you don't want the machines permanently, please terminate it. Whenever you want to reuse the machine, maybe in the next session or something like that, you can again stop the machine and you can again start the machine as per your requirements. Perfect. Okay. So Manoj, in continuation to the discussion we had, can I have few questions with respect to yesterday's session? Okay.
Yes, Sunil.
In the yesterday's session, we have created a Windows machine. Do you agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are created.
And we have successfully connected to that Windows machine also.
Yes,
not only
RDP.
just creating a Windows machine. So from my personal laptop, we have successfully connected to that particular Windows machine. So what is the application we have used for connecting to that particular Windows machine?
Remote desktop.
Perfect. The application what we have used is remote desktop. Remote desktop connection. Okay. Next, one more point. Do you remember when you're creating a Windows machine, you have opened a port?
Yes.
Port is, I said port is for point of communication. You can successfully connect to the machine only when the port is open. Do you remember what port we have opened? Do you remember which port we have opened in the Windows machine so that you are able to successfully connect, Manoj? Very important. You have to revise it, Manoj. So it's an RDP port. I hope you remember.
Yes.
I hope remember in the Windows machine we have opened RDP port. That's the reason RDP stands for remote desktop port. So using the remote desktop, you are able to connect to that particular. So generally in the Windows machines we use RDP ports. Clear, Manoj?
Yes, it is clear.
So what is the
there is any port number we are seeing in view?
You can see that. You can see it. Next point. What type of instance it is? Instance type.
Instance type, the default instance, it is a minor, look like T2.micro.
T2 micro, you're right. T2 micro is a name, is an instance type. This T2 micro is nothing but the hardware configuration of
1 GB RAM
and one CPU, and I think how much
30
storage?
GB is 30 GB
30
storage.
30 GB storage. Perfect. So this is the T2 micro instance which we have created. So in the last session, we have experienced the concept of EC2, and Manoj, we have learned how to create a Windows machine. So our plan for today's session, Manoj, like how we have created a Windows machine yesterday, our plan for today's session is to create a Linux machine. It's very, very important. Okay. We'll be a little fast because we already have experienced the process of creating. My dear friends, if you're not creating an AWS account, I said hands-on is very, very important. When you do hands-on, then only you can retain the concepts. Okay. So what's our plan for today's session? So our plan,
And
our plan for today's session, one minute, please. Our plan for today's session is to understand how to create a Linux machine. Okay. Not just creating a Linux machine, we'll also learn. Not just Linux machine, we'll also learn from our personal laptop, For Windows, we have used remote desktop. We'll also learn how can we connect to the Linux machine. So this is our plan for today's session. Okay, so let's get into the practice. Thank you much.
And one update, Sunil.
Yes.
Generally, while we are practicing, we observed while connecting. So generally for you, it is directly asking like a username, DNS it's showing. But for us, while we are trying, there is a 3 tabs are coming: session manager, RDP client. There's
You have
some
to select RDP client.
RDP, yeah. Okay. But default we are it's showing session manager. There's some requirements are coming.
Okay.
So when we collect RDP, there whatever
then you will have
show.
the DNS name and all those details.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are learning how to create a Linux machine. We already have experienced it, so I'll be pretty fast in today's session. Whenever you want to create a machine, obviously we need to select a machine service called as EC2. In the instances, you can see list of all the instances. Please ignore the existing instances. Our plan is to create a Linux machine. So click on launch instance. Okay. Step 1 is choosing Amazon machine image. In other words, it's an operating system. Agree? Step 1 is nothing but Amazon machine image. In other words, it's an operating system. It is asking you which operating system you want. You can go ahead and creating Amazon Linux. You can select Red Hat Linux. Okay. You can create SUSE Linux. You can create Ubuntu. You can select any flavor, whichever I want. I want to proceed with Amazon Linux. And make sure that whenever you are selecting an operating system, as I already have mentioned, make sure that the operating system is eligible for free tier, because the account what we have created is a free tier account. So select. Step 1 has selected operating system. Step 2, instance type. As I already mentioned, the default instance type is T2 micro. This is the only instance type which is eligible for free tier. So this configuration is more than enough for us to practice. So this Linux machine which I'm creating comes with 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. Coming back to the hardware configurations, let's take a note of it. This Linux machine coming with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU. Perfect. And what about storage? Storage is nothing but hard disk. Hard disk is about step 4. You know that. Step 2 is selecting the instance type. So the instance type what I'm selecting is T2 micro. That means this Linux machine which we are creating is coming with 1 CPU and 1 GB RAM. Step 3, number of instances. You can, in single shot, you can go ahead and create 10 instances also. Step 3 is all about number of instances. I want to create only 1 instance. Take the default. Step 4 is storage. Storage is nothing but the hard disk configuration. Do you remember in Windows machine, it has provided 30 GB of storage? Whereas in Linux machine, when you're selecting Linux operating system, it is providing you 8 GB of storage. So this is 8 GB of storage. Okay, 8 GB. So the Linux machine which we are creating is coming with 1 GB RAM and 1 CPU and 8 GB storage. You may have a question, Sunil, why it is taking 8 GB storage? Let's say I don't want 8 GB, I want 20 GB storage. You can modify, that's not a problem. You can modify, that's not a problem. But according to free tier limitations, for this Linux machine, 8 GB is free. Let's say you don't want 8 GB. Let's say you want 10 GB. You can go ahead and change the value here, but you will be billed for the extra 2 GB what you're using. Are you understanding? So we are creating a free tier account. What we are using is a free tier account. So let's go with the free tier limitations. This free tier account is not absolutely free, my dear friends. The free tier account is not absolutely free. It is having some limitations. Okay, so let's go with the limitations. And we'll discuss about more limitations in future. Try to understand the concept. I hope I'm very clear. Step 1 is selecting the operating system, selecting instance type, that is T2 micro. Configuring the instances is all about number of instances. Storage is nothing but 8 GB storage. I have taken a note of it. 8 GB hard disk drive. Next, tagging is nothing but naming the instance. I can name it later. Security group. This is very important. Security group is very, very important. Security group is all about defining what port needs to be open. Not just successfully creating a Linux machine in AWS data center. My dear friends, you may successfully create a Linux machine in AWS data center, but if you are unable to connect, there's no meaning. If you are unable to connect, there is no meaning. You cannot use that particular machine. You should be able to connect to that particular Linux machine or Windows machine, any operating system, you should be able to successfully connect. And when can you connect to that particular Windows machines or Linux machine? You can successfully connect only when, you are right, very good. Only when what should be open? You are right, very good. Only when what should be open? Port should be opened. I repeat again, port is nothing but a gate. It's point of contact. If you want to use a pen drive, you will connect to USB port where you can transfer your data to pen drive. Port is nothing but point of contact. I already have explained this in the last lesson. You want to connect your laptop to your television, TV. You connect using HDMI port. Ports are nothing but point of contacts. Audio port, video port. So ports are nothing but point. You need to open the port. Yes, I have to open the port. Do you remember for Windows machine, we have opened RDP port. Whereas it's for Linux machine, it is, as I said, AWS is very intelligent. It automatically identified that the operating system what you have selected is Linux. So it is opening SSH port for you. SSH port is required for connecting to the Linux machine. This is conceptual knowledge. Okay, SSH port is required for connecting to the Linux machine. Yes. And port number is 22. Okay, RDP port is also having its own number. So look at the video. So my dear friends, so for connecting to the Linux machine, we need to open SSH port. I have not opened it. AWS is very intelligent. It is recommending you to open the SSH port. That's fine. So this is just take the defaults. And very important, I want to provide a name to the security group. I want to provide a name to the security group. Yesterday, I have not named it. Yesterday, I have just take the default options. I just explained the importance of port and click on review and launch. Yesterday, I have not provided a name to the security group. Now I want to provide a name to the security group. You may have a question, Sunil, why are you naming the security group? What is the advantage of providing a name to the security group? I'll show you the advantage. Before showing you advantage, I want to provide a name to the security group. Security group name can be anything. Okay, I want to name the security group as anything. Sunil with today's date, let's say 28 hyphen, I want to end with SG. Any name you can write it. You can name anything. So this is the name of the security group which I want to provide. And this security group, what port I'm opening? SSH port. So for my reference, I am taking a note of the security group name in the paint. The security group name from my side, I promise whatever I explain will be 100% clear. The security group name what I have created is SG28. Sunil 28-SG is the name of the security group. You may have questions, Sunil, what is the advantage of providing a name to security group? I will explain that. In this particular security group, Sunil 28-SG, what port is open? SSH port is open. Very good. Review. Yes, reviewing is about just reviewing the details. So this is an Amazon Linux which comes with 1 GB CPU, and this is the name of the security group. In this security group, SSH port is open. Just review the details. You click on launch. My dear friends, when you click on launch, what happens? You know it. My dear friends, when you click on launch, what will happen? Yes, you know it. It will ask you to download a key pair. Am I right? When you click on launch, it will ask you to download a key pair. What is key pair? Key pair is nothing but a file with extension PEM. Yesterday also we have downloaded the key pair. Please be regular. Yesterday also we have downloaded a key pair. Do you remember where did we download the key pair? In my desktop, I have created a folder. Do you remember? I have created a folder called AWS batch 81. Where is it? Yes, I have created a folder called AWS batch 81. This is the key pair I have downloaded in my yesterday session. So today also I'll download in the same location. In AWS batch 81, I'm downloading the key pair. Yes. Click on launch. When you click on launch, it will ask you to select an existing key pair. You can also select an existing key pair, but I don't want to confuse you because you're beginners. I want to create a new key pair. What is the name of the key pair? Key pair name can be anything. Key pair name can be anything. I'm writing it as any name you can write it. So I'm writing it as Sunil. This is machine 2, right? MACH2 with yes, that's it. You can write any name. And I download the key pair. Where do you want to download the key pair? In my desktop, I have created a folder AWS batch 81. Yes, you can see here in this particular folder, I want to download the key pair. I have downloaded the key pairs, launch instances. Scroll down, view instances. This is the second machine which have machine 1 is what we have created yesterday. This is the new machine. It's still pending. I want to name it as machine 2. Perfect. Yesterday, we took approximately 40 minutes to explain you creating a Linux, creating an EC2 machine because the first time. So I'm pretty fast here. Probably with less than 5 minutes, the machine has been created. The machine is coming into Linux, is into running state. So we have successfully created Linux machine in Mumbai data center. Perfect. Let's wait for the machine. It just takes 1 minute. Yes, you can see the machine is now running state. Perfect. The machine is ready. What's the next point to learn? What is the next point to learn? We have successfully created Linux machine. Yes. We should also learn how can we connect to the Linux machine. The Linux machine is running in Mumbai. You all know that. I am from Hyderabad. How can I connect? Yesterday, if it is Windows machine, I have used remote desktop connection. Isn't it, friends? If it is Windows machine, I have used remote desktop connection. But this is not a Windows machine. This is Linux machine. How can we connect to a remote Linux machine? If you want to connect to a Linux machine, we use a terminal called as, yes, right, putty. We need a terminal called as putty. Putty is a terminal which is used to connect to Linux machines. Putty is a terminal which is used to connect to Linux machine. So if I want to connect to this Linux machine, yes, I want to connect. So what I need to do, I need to download putty in my personal laptop. So let's do that first. How to download putty? Open Google, search for putty. You get the option. Search for putty download. Take the first site, putty.org. Take the first link. Click here to download putty. It's a very small software. It will be directed to chain.greenend.org. That's fine. Scroll down. Putty.exe file, 64-bit. My laptop is 64-bit. So download this putty.exe. Where I want to download in my downloads folder, I want to download it. I have downloaded. Now tell me, is it in downloading putty.exe is a difficult one? No, not at all. Okay, I have successfully downloaded the putty.exe file. Fine. It's an exe file. So when it is an exe file, you need to open this and the putty application is ready now. Putty application is ready. I repeat one more time. How can we connect to the Linux machine? My dear friends, we can successfully connect to a Linux machine somewhere running in Mumbai or Singapore or any region. You can successfully connect to the Linux machine using a terminal called as putty. And I have shown you how to download putty in your personal laptop. Now putty is it's an exe file. It's already downloaded. And I can, where is downloaded? It's downloaded in my downloads folder. You can see here. This is the putty.exe file which has been downloaded. When you click on this, the putty application is open. The putty application is open. Fine. Yes. Next point. This is very important. If you want to connect to Linux machine using putty, the application putty needs a PPK file. Putty application needs what file? PPK file. PPK stands for putty private key. Putty needs what file? PPK file. PPK stands for putty private key. But AWS is not providing you PPK file. What does AWS provided? Do you remember after creating the EC2 machine, what AWS has provided? PEM file. Did AWS provided PPK file? No, AWS has provided what file? AWS has provided what file, my dear friends? AWS has provided a file with extension .pem. But putty cannot use PEM file. Putty needs what? PPK file. Are you understanding? So what we need to do, you need to convert. Yes, you are right. Friends, are you understanding? Putty needs what file? PPK file. But AWS has not provided PPK file. AWS has provided what? PEM file. So what you need to do? You need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. You need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. Yes. You need to convert the PEM file to PPK file. How can this be possible? How can we convert the PEM file to PPK file? By using a tool called as PuttyGen. PuttyGen is used to convert the PEM file to PPK file. PuttyGen is used, but PuttyGen is a special application which we need to download it on our personal laptop, and then using PuttyGen, what we do, we convert the PEM file to PPK file. Once the PPK file is available, you can use putty so that your putty needs PPK file so that you can connect. Friends, is this clear what I'm trying to say? I repeat one more time, quick recap. Putty is a terminal. which is used to connect to which machines? Which is used to connect which machines? Linux machines. Very good. That's clear. So the Linux machine is already ready. So obviously, if you want to connect Linux machine, we have an option called putty. But putty needs what file? I repeat one more time. Putty needs what file? PPK file, stands for putty private key. Putty needs what file? Putty private key. But AWS has provided what file? My dear friends, AWS has provided what file? PEM file. So PEM file is useless. You cannot connect to Linux machine using PEM file. We need PPK file. So what you need to do? You need to convert the PEM file provided by AWS to what file? PPK file. This is possible using an application called as puttygen. What puttygen will do? Puttygen is an application which will take the PEM file as an input and then generates the PPK file. So what you have to download? You have to download one more application called puttygen. So go to Google and download puttygen. Download. What you have to download? Puttygen. Take the first link. Not the first link. Not the first link. This is the right site. chairk.greenend.org.uk. This is the right site. Select this. What file? What do you want? You need puttygen. You can see putty. There are a lot of applications. Putty.exe, PSCP, PSFTP. So don't worry about this. What you need to search for the right link. Puttygen.exe. And your laptop is 64. Download this puttygen.exe. Where I want to download, I want to download my downloads folder. Yes, I am down. It's just a small software. Puttygen is exe is downloaded. I open this. So puttygen stands for putty key generator. I have opened the puttygen. I have opened puttygen. Puttygen is nothing but putty key generator. What this puttygen will do? It will take the PEM file. What puttygen will do? We should upload the PEM file. Where is PEM file available? It is available in my desktop. My dear friends, are you understand? It is available in desktop. AWS. What is the PEM file? Sunil mach2.pem. This is the PEM file which is available. So you have to upload the PEM file. It will give you PPK file. Load. Can you see we have an option called load? Yes, load. AWS has provided some PEM file where it is available in my desktop. What is the name of the folder? AWS batch 81. And here you will not able to see the files. You have to select all files option so that you can see all the files in the desktop in that particular folder. Can you see this is the PEM file? This PEM file, you have to upload it in puttygen. Yes, successfully imported. Okay, we have uploaded the PEM file. Next, what you need to do? Save private key. Are you sure you want to save the private key? Yes. And what should be the file name? File name can be anything. File name, that PPK file name can be anything. I want to maintain the same file name. Sunil Mac 27. It can be same file name or it can be different file name. File name can be anything, but extension.pem, it should be with extension .ppk file. Are you understanding? Click on save. Are you understanding? Click on save. Yes, you can now see the PPK file has been generated. I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. It's not converted. I have generated the PPK file from the PEM file. I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. Am I clear? Am I clear? Remember, putty needs PPK file. AWS has provided PEM file. So what we need to do, you need to generate the PPK file from the PEM file. That is possible using PPK file. I quickly repeat one more time. For clarity purpose, I'm quickly repeating one more time, deleting the PPK file. This is the PEM file provided by AWS. I don't want PEM file. I want to generate the PPK file. So use the application called. What is the application we need? Puttygen. Yes. So what you need to do, load the PEM file. Load. Where is the PEM file available in my desktop Sunil folder? Go to all files. No, that's not Sunil folder. Desktop AWS batch 81. And this is the PEM file which you have to load it. Yes, successfully loaded. And there's an option called save private key. Click on yes. And what is the file name? You can maintain the same file name, Sunil Mac 27. But remember, it should not be .pem. Please delete .pem. Just mention the file name and it should be .ppk file. Save. So I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. I have successfully converted the PEM file to PPK file. This conversion is a one-time process. That's it. Now the PPK file is available. Now I can use the terminal called as the actual concept is I can connect using which tool? I can connect using putty. Yes. Perfect. Now I can connect using putty. Okay. So open put. So which machine you want to connect? The machine to which you have created. Select the machine, click on connect. Click on connect. When you click on connect, can you see username at DNS? Don't take the complete SSH command, my dear friend. Don't take the complete SSH command. You have to select username at DNS. For clarity purpose, I'm copying this and pasting in your notepad. You have to pick up this. I repeat, from where did I get this value? Username at the DNS. From where I get it? So I repeat one more time. Select the machine which you have created. Click on connect. You don't take the complete SSH command. As complete SSH command is not required. User at the name DNS, pick up this value. I already have picked up this value and have pasted in notepad. Provide these details in the putty. So open the terminal called as, yes, you are right. Open the terminal called as putty. Under the host name, provide this username at DNS. Okay. And then putty needs what file? Putty needs what file? PPK file. Where is the PPK file available? PPK file is available in desktop AWS, but you have to mention that. So go to SSH. In the putty, go to SSH, go to authentication, AUTH, and here it is asking for private key. You need to mention where is the PPK file available. Browse the PPK file available in my desktop. The folder name is AWS batch 81, and this is the PPK file which is available. And click on OK. You need to provide the PPK file. You need to provide the PPK file. You can see the PPK file has been provided. Yes. So using this PPK file, when you click on open, you will be connected to a Linux machine, which is somewhere running in Mumbai data center. Open. Are you sure you want to connect? Yes. Click on accept. You have, my dear friends, we have successfully connected to a Linux machine, which is somewhere running in Mumbai. I am based out of Hyderabad and using the putty. I have, for clarity purpose, I increase the font size, change settings. Go to appearance, and for clarity purpose, I'm increasing the font size for better visibility. My dear friends, are we successfully connected? Are we successfully connected to a Linux machine? Yes, we are successfully connected. You may have questions, Sunil, what is the proof that you're connected? Because you're getting an IP address 172.31.38.34. This is the IP address of the machine. If you want, you can compare it. This is the machine which you have created, right? Can you see the IP address? 172.31.38.84. Are you getting the same number? 172.31.38.84. Yes, you have successfully connected. We have successfully connected to a Linux machine. My dear friends, is this clear? If it is clear, please type yes in the chat box. If it is clear, please type yes in the chat box. Yesterday, we have learned how to create a Windows machine. We are very clear. Now we have learned how can we create a Linux machine. Not only just creating a Linux machine, we have successfully learned how can we connect to the Linux machine using putty. One more important question for Linux machine, what port needs to be open? Please respond in the chat box. When you want to connect to Linux machine, what port needs to be open? SSH port needs to be open. Yes, you are right. Thank you very much for your responses. Thank you very much for your responses. Very, very happy to get your responses. Please look at the recordings. It's very, very important. And you have to do hands-on. That's the best thing. I have successfully connected. You may have questions, Sunil. Tell me one more time how to connect. Yes. How to disconnect. Exit to disconnect the connection. I want to connect one more time. Yes. Open the terminal called as. What do you need to do? You need to open the terminal called as putty. So here what you need to do, you need to enter host name. Host name is nothing but click on connect. User at DNS. Sorry. This is what you need to provide. Username at DNS. If you're not finding DNS, don't worry. It's something similar to IP address. Under SSH, under authentication, you have to mention the PPK file. PPK file is available in my desktop AWS batch. This is the PPK file. You have to upload the PPK. You have to provide the PPK file. Click on open. It will be successfully connected. Yes, hooray! We have successfully connected to the Linux machine. Yes. So where are we standing in our agenda? So where are we standing in our day-wise agenda? You now know how to create a Linux machine. Done. You know the importance and different understanding the importance between the PuTTY gen and PuTTY. PuTTY is actually the terminal, the final terminal which we use for connecting to Linux machine is PuTTY. But PuTTY needs PPK file. The PuTTY gen is a software which helps you to take the PEM file and generate the PPK file. Yes. The next thing what we need to do is to discuss about web server. The next thing what I need to do is to discuss about the web server. Yes. Perfect. Let's move on. Okay. Yes. Okay. I just want to give one more clarification. We have created Linux machine, right? We have created Linux machine, right? In Mumbai data center. It's up to the client. How can they want to use the Linux machine? What you may have question, what is the use of this Linux machine? It's up to the client requirement. If the client installs Oracle software in this Linux machine, it becomes database server. What is Oracle? If you install Oracle in this particular machine, it becomes a database server. If you install Tomcat, it becomes a Tomcat server in this Linux machine. If you install WebLogic, it becomes WebLogic server. It's up to you. It's a plain operating system. That's it. It's up to the requirement. Whatever the business wants to install, we can install it. I want to install a web server in this Linux. Now it's a plain empty Linux machine. I agree. There's no software installed in it. I want to install software in this Linux machine. I want to install software in this Linux machine. What software I want to install? I want to install web server. I want to install web package. I make the concepts very clear. Okay, give me 10 minutes of time. Look at this. Now we have successfully created Linux machine. What is the next part we are learning? What is the next part we have learning? Okay, now I want to show you the concept of web server. I want to show you practically how to create a web server in today's session. Before showing you practically how to create a web server, I want to explain the term called web server. For clarity purpose, especially for non-technical people, I want to explain about web server. As per the theory, web server is a program that uses HTTP protocol. A web server is a program. Program is nothing but a small software which uses HTTP protocol, hypertext transfer protocol, which serves the files from the web page to the users. Which serves the files from the web page to the users in response to the request. A web server is a small program which will serve the files or nothing but web pages to the users. Let's make this concept simplified. Let's make this concept simplified. Look at this. Okay, I don't want to remove this. Let's make the concept simplified. I'll open one more paint because I don't want to remove this. I'm opening one more paint. From my friends, look at this. From my personal laptop, I want to explain the concept of web server. From my personal laptop, I open Google Chrome. We all know what is Google Chrome. Okay. And I open, from my Google Chrome, I open icicibank.com. Okay. In my personal, assuming this is my personal laptop, I open Google Chrome browser and I open icicibank.com. Okay. I am opening icicibank.com and I press enter. When I press enter, what do I get? Friends, the moment I have not yet pressed enter, but when I press enter, what will be the response? Observe what happens. We get a web page. A beautiful page, we get it. Agree? Look at this. I press enter. Slowly the page is getting transferred. You are able to get what? As you can see, this is what? This is all web page. Web page is a collection of images and some text and some buttons. What is this? This is a web page. Agree or not? Now look at this. What's happening? From I'm a user. I am a user. I have an ICICI Bank account. So I am a user of ICICI Bank. Technically, I am called as client. See, this is nothing but client is nothing but end user. These are technical jargons. First of all, don't worry about the technical jargons. I am using ICICI Bank application. I am the client. Okay, so don't worry about the technical jargons. From my personal laptop, I'm opening icsabank.com. The moment I open icsabank.com, I'm getting a web page. Agree or not? This is a web page. Now tell me from where I'm getting this web page. From where I'm getting the web page? From the EC2 machine, boss. If AWS is, if ICICI Bank is using AWS, it will be technically from the EC2 machine only. Okay, so that EC2 machine is nothing but web server. So web server is nothing but a machine. So whenever I open icsabank.com, request will go to one EC2, one machine. Okay, so request will go to that particular machine, and then request from the browser, it will go to that particular machine, and in response it will give you one web page. As this EC2, as this machine is giving you web pages, that's why it's called as web server. I may be in Hyderabad, I may be in Bangalore, I may be US. If anybody opens icsabank.com, the request will go to same web server. You may be in different location, you get the same web page. Agree or not? So what is web server? My dear friends, technically what is web server? Web server is also small server. Server is nothing but normal machine. Machine is nothing but a combination of hardware, hard disk, RAM, and processor. That's it. Nothing special. So web server is nothing but a small machine. Now it needs to, technically in our context, it's an EC2 machine where you'll have a lot of pages, login page. Okay, where you have lot of pages, login page, contact us page, lot of web pages will be there in the web server. Whenever you open icsabank.com, you get you get a page. Okay, when you click on this page, when I click offers page, when you click on offers, again the request will go to, when I click on offers link, again the request will go to web server, and you get the offers page. Okay, clear? So when I click on, let's say cards, when I click on cards, again the request will go to. When I click on cards, again what happens? Again, when I click on any link, the request will go to web server. You get the corresponding web page. So web server is nothing but collection of web pages. Now, what web server will do? Web server will be continuously waiting for the request. 24/7, midnight also, it will wait for the request. If anybody opening the laptop or mobile phone when requesting icsabank.com, it will give you one page. So that's nothing but web server. Very simple. Very simple. So what I will do, so web server is not a, it's a small software. It's a small program which is collection of web pages, login page, contact us page, and offers page, customer care page, help page. All these are all pages. So web server is a small program which will accept the request and deliver the pages. That's why it's called a web server. It is serving the pages. In the hotel, when you go it, what you'll call the server, right? So what server will do? It will take the server will come to your table. He will take the request and then deliver the items whatever you order. In the same way, server is not, web server is will take the request and gives the required web pages. That's why it's called as web server. So examples of web servers are, so look at this. Now this theory becomes simplified. Web server is a small program which uses HTTP protocol to serve the files or web pages to users. Users are nothing but I am a user because I'm opening ICICI Bank. I am a user. It will serve the pages to the users in response to the request. I am requesting from the Google Chrome browser. I get the pages. That's why it's called a web server. Examples of web server are HTTP, Apache HTTP server is one example of web server. Microsoft IIS is one example of a web server. Nginx is an example of web server. HTTPD is an example of web server. These are a lot of web servers available. These are some examples of web servers. Okay, now I want to make this machine 2 as a web server. This is right now empty Linux. Right now this is empty Linux. Agree? Now I will install some software. What software? If you install this one or Nginx or HTTP, anything if you install, it becomes a web server. If you install Oracle, it becomes an Oracle server. It's up to you. How do you want to use this particular Linux machine? As of now, it's a hardware with operating system. That's it. On top of operating system, what you're planning to do, how do you want to use that particular machine? I want to use this particular machine 1, which I've created as a Linux, as a web server. So what I'll do, I'll install the package. What I will install the software. What software I'll install? I'll install HTTPD. So I want to install this 4th one, HTTPD. HTTPD stands for HTTP daemon, is a small software that runs as a web server. It will wait for the incoming request. The same story. This particular software will wait for the incoming request, and the daemon is nothing but a program answers to the request by serving HTTP hypertext multimedia documents over the internet. Obviously, how transfer happens? How transfer will happen? Using the internet. That's it. Again, the same story. So I want to install HTTPD. I want to install HTTPD. As I want to install HTTPD, I have first step, I have connected to the Linux machine. I will run some commands to install HTTPD. Okay. I want to install what I want to install. I want to install HTTPD. Okay. One more small information. Okay. One more small information. If you want to install any software on your laptop, okay, when you install it, if you want to install any software in your laptop, okay, any software, let's say you want to install Notepad++, you want to install some game, whatever you want to install it, you will do it in Google, right? You search for Google, you will download that exe file and you run it exe file. That's how happens in the Windows environment. Now what we want to do, we want to install in Linux. How can we install softwares in Linux? Okay, how can we install software? Let's learn something how exactly we can install softwares in Linux. In Linux environment, if you want to install some software, we should not say it as software, we should say it as a package. In Linux, you can install software. Software comes in the form of packages. So what I want now, what you have to say it as package. So now what I'm trailing is, I am installing in HTTPD package. If you want, you can install Nginx package. If you want, you can install IIS package. These are all softwares are nothing packages. In Linux, it is called as package. So I want to install HTTPD package. Okay. Somewhere, if it is Windows, we download it from Google. Whereas in Linux, from where we should download? Linux community is maintaining a warehouse of softwares. A warehouse, a Linux community is maintaining a very big warehouse, visualize as a very big godown which is having collection of softwares. That warehouse of softwares are called as repository. The name of the repository is yum repository. Whenever you want to install any package, when I say package, it is software. Whenever you want to install any software in Linux, you have to install from the repository. The name of the repository is yum repository. Yum is name of the repository. So yum repository is nothing but you can visualize a warehouse of Linux software. So sometimes the software you want to install will not be available in Linux operating system. Sometimes few softwares by default you get it when you install Linux. Sometimes you have to manually install. I want to manually install HTTPD. So we have to, in such situations, we use the concept of repository. What's the name of the repository? Yum repository. So I want to install HTTPD software. Now tell me, I want to install HTTPD. From where I have to install it? I have to install it from the yum repository. Yes. So let's learn how can we install it. Now I am installing the HTTPD package from the yum repository. First command. SU stands for switch user. Switch user will help you to switch from one user to other user. Right now I have dollar prompt. I am switching to hash prompt. Switch user stands for switching to high level user, because I want to install. Now you can see hash prompt is nothing but a root user. You have, whenever you want to install package, you have to first switch to root user. First, yum is what? Yum is the name of the repository. Yum update -v. First, you have to update the repository because you want the latest version of the package. So as you want the latest versions of the package, first you have to update the repository. You can see the repository is getting updated. Whenever you want to install any package, first you have to update the repository. It's a good practice. First step, you have to update the repository. When you update the repository, you get the latest versions of the packages. Yes. Repository is updated. Next you have to install. What you have to install? HTTPD. This is the command. Yum install HTTPD -y. Y stands for yes, which helps you to install that HTTPD web. This will help. This particular statement will install HTTPD. What is HTTPD? HTTPD is a web server. Yes, that's it. That's it. Web server is installed. Web server is installed. Web server is installed. Now I can say this Linux machine is a web server. Yes. Web server. I have installed it. Okay. Next. If you want to, I want to show you practically how to get the web page. So for that, we should have minimum one web page, right? So we should have one HTML page in the server. Otherwise, how can we experience it? So we'll be creating one page. CD stands for change directory. You need to go to HTML directory because we have to experience this. I want to go to HTML directory. In this HTML directory, LS stands for list. Right now, there are no files. I am creating one file. The name of the file as index.html. One file minimum. We should be one file in the server. Otherwise, we should get the web page, right? So I'm creating one web page called index.html. Web page has been created. What is the name of the page? Index.html. What is the content in this file? In this HTML file, what I'm writing? My Google. When you say echo is nothing but printing whatever you're writing in double quotes, and that value will be placed in this index.html. So what is the content? We'll have my Google. So we have installed the HTTPD, and I have created one HTML page, and you have to start this HTTPD service. HTTPD start is a command which helps you to start the service. Yes, HTTPD software is started. Check config HTTPD on is a command which helps you to start the service automatically whenever you restart the machine. Whenever you restart the EC2 machine, you want the software to be started automatically. So this command will help you to start the HTTPD software automatically when you start the EC2 machine. Yes, that's it. I have installed a web page. Sorry, I have installed web server. Now this Linux machine is a web server, my dear friends. This Linux machine is now a web server. As I told you, it's up to the client requirement. If you install Oracle, it becomes a database server. How do you want to use it? By default, EC2 machine is a plain Linux machine. On top of it, you have installed web HTTPD. That's why it's called as a web server. And there's one file also, one HTML file is there. Okay. Now you can experience the web server. Now the Linux machine is a web server. Let's test. Am I getting the web pages? Can I get the web pages? This Linux machine is now a web server, right? So I select this web machine. I am selecting this EC2 machine. Can you see I have an IP address, public IP. Copy the IP address. Copy the IP address for your reference purpose. I'm showing you the IP address. What I have copied. This is the IP address 3.110.29.92. Yes, this is the IP address. I copy this IP address. Now, my dear friends, I am opening the IP address from the Google Chrome. Like how I am opening ICICIbank.com. Here we don't have the domain name, so I'm directly accessing the EC2 machine using the EC2 machine IP address. The moment I press enter, my dear friends, I'm picking up the EC2 machine. You can see the EC2 machine. I have installed a web package. I have created one HTML page also, and I have taken the IP address. The moment I press enter, what should happen? I should get the web page. Look at this. I'm pressing enter. It's processing. It is processing. Are you getting the web page? No, we are not getting the web page. Still processing. We are not getting the web page. What is the problem? We are not getting the web page. What is the problem? Let's experience it. Let's test. Are we able to get the web page? Take the public IP and paste it in the browser. Are you able to access? No, we are not able to access. What is the reason? The reason is, what is this browser? The browser communicates using HTTP port. Google Chrome is a browser. Mozilla is a browser. These all browsers communicate using what port? HTTP port. In the Linux machine, which you have created today, what port you have opened? SSH port is open. But for browsers, you have to use what port? You have to open one more port. What port you need to open? HTTP port you have to open. So as HTTP port is not open, you are unable to, browser is unable to, this machine is unable to take the incoming connections. You have to open the HTTP port. Sir, you may have questions, Sunil. Okay, I understood that the browser communicates using HTTP port. We have opened SSH port at the time of creating Linux machine. Now, how can you open HTTP port? You can open multiple ports. How do you handle ports? Using the security group. That's the reason you have never a name to the security group. Do you remember when you have created EC2 machine, we have provided a name to the security group. What is the name of the security group? Sunil 28-SG. You have provided a name to the security group. So go back to the security group. How can you go to the security group? In the EC2 machine dashboard, scroll down. Can you see here instances? You scroll down. Under security, there is an option called security groups. In the security group, there are a lot of security groups available. Can you see that 24 security groups are available? What is the name of the security group? Sunil 28-SG. This is a security group. Sunil, that's the reason it's always good to name. When you name it, you can easily identify. This is the name of the security group. Okay. This is the name of the security group. Go to inbound rules. Okay. Edit inbound rules. Edit inbound rules. Right now, this Linux machine HTTP port is open. Add rule. You can add one more port. What port I'm opening now? What port I'm opening? HTTP port I'm opening. Source anywhere. Anywhere is nothing but anybody in the world can connect to this Linux machine using HTTP port. Finally, save rules. Now I have opened one more rule. So security group advantage is all about dealing with ports. When you know the name of the security group, when you know the name of the security group, you can go to that particular security group. You can add one more port if you want. You can remove the port. You can control the incoming connections to this Linux machine. As I open HTTP port, I want to try one more time. So go back to the instances. This is the machine one web server which you have created, right? This is the machine one you have created. Okay. And then take the IP address. The IP address will be same, that 3.110.29.22, the same IP address which we already have taken a note of it, the same IP address, this IP address. Now I'll try it from my browser. The moment I press enter, as I open HTTP port, I should get the web page. Are you getting my Google page? Perfect. It may be as simple as my Google page, or it could be as beautiful as icicibank.com. The concept is the same. It's all about how do you design the web page, how beautifully you design the web page. The concept is the same. Servers are nothing but EC2 machines on cloud. Yes, ICICI Bank is running on AWS. The servers are all about EC2 machines. So you have perfectly installed the required software and you are able to get the web page. Are you understanding? So the beauty in not only me, anybody in the world can access my EC2 machine. This is the EC2 machine I've created, right? Not only me, anybody in the world can access the EC2 machine. My dear friends, I am sending my IP address in the chat box. I have sent you IP address in the chat box of the EC2 machine. Pick up the IP address from the chat box from your personal laptops or from your mobile phones. Open the Google Chrome and try to enter this IP address, and you should also get the same page what I'm getting my Google page. The IP address is 3.110.29.92. Pick up the IP address in the chat box, and not only me, anybody in the world can access my web server. Are you accessing the web server which I have created? If yes, please. Are you excited? If yeah, if type yes in the chat box. Are you understanding the concept of servers? Servers are nothing but machines which run 24/7, and anybody in the world should be able to access. It can be icicibank.com or it could be facebook.com. The concept is the same. Are you understanding the power of EC2 machine? It's up to you how to use the EC2 machine, my dear friends. Yes, thank you very much. So importance of security group. What is, tell me, what is the importance of security group? You are controlling. Browser communicates using HTTP port, and putty will communicate using SSH port. So when I open SSH port, SSH uses SSH port. Browser communicates using HTTP port. That's it. As simple as that. Thank you very much for your responses. I'm stopping the chat. Thank you very much for your responses. This is the concept of web server. This is the concept of web server. Web server is nothing but a small software which will have some set of pages like login page, contact us page, services page, welcome page, home page. There's a lot of pages. It's up to you how you beautifully design your web page. Paste all your web pages in the EC2 machine. It becomes a web server. Anybody in the world having an IP address can access it. And one more quick point, Sunil, in case of ICICI Bank example, we write icicibank.com. Here you are using an IP address. Yeah, instead of IP address, you can also buy the domain name and link the domain name to this IP address. That's it. That we anyways we learn it in the Route 53 service. That's a special service. That's how you can link the domain name like www.yourname.com. You can select the domain name and you can buy the domain name and link the domain name to the IP address. It becomes a website. Okay. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed the session. So did we done with our agenda for today's session? Yes, we have completed our agenda. You now know not only just creating a Windows machine, you now know how to create a Linux machine. You know the terminal which is used is putty for connecting to the Linux machine, and puttygen is used for converting the PEM file to PPK file. You know what's web server. First, don't worry about the technical jargons. You have learned how to install web package, and you know the concept of security group. All these are very, very important. If you want to know more information about the training, please give a missed call to this number. If you want to know more information about this training, give a missed call to this number. Our team will call back to you. and provide you the required details. And remember, after practicing, you have to disconnect the putting, one more time exit, one time exit to come out of the root user, one more time exit to disconnect it. And what you have to do, you have to stop the machine. Right now the machine is running state. Actions, instant state, you have to stop the machine. This is yesterday's Windows machine. I don't want this permanently. I can remove it. Actions, instant state. There's an option called terminate. I don't want the yesterday's Windows machine. I'm clicking on terminate. Even that will be terminated. So it's up to us. Okay. You can stop it. You can terminate it. Terminate is nothing but permanently removing. Stopping is nothing but whenever you want, you can again restart it. Yes, the yesterday's machine is terminated. The today's machine, I'm just stopping it. It will just take less than a minute for stopping. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Okay. I hope you have enjoyed the session. What's the plan for tomorrow, my dear friends? What's the plan for tomorrow? Tomorrow, I'm introducing you one more very important concept, very frequently asked concept, that is called as a load balancer. Tomorrow, I want to introduce the concept of load balancer. Suddenly, if the website traffic is increasing, the server goes down, isn't it? Suddenly, when the website traffic is getting increased, server will go down. Concept of cloud is nothing but there should not be downtime. 100% should be available. If you want to make it available irrespective when the traffic is double or triple, we don't want any downtime. Okay. Have you seen any time Facebook down? Have you seen any time Amazon Prime down or Netflix down because of high traffic? No. So this can be possible by using load balancer. Load balancer can handle huge traffic and balance the load. So how exactly traffic can be handled using load balancer? That's our plan for tomorrow's session. Before ending, let's have a quick questionnaire. Prudvi Chekka, how is today's session?
Hi, Sunil. Yeah, it was nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Prudvi. Yes, your question, please.
Actually, I raised a hand at the start of the session.
Okay.
I had just one question in yesterday's when we created the Windows server or Linux server.
Okay.
So we are using we are selecting some RAM or we are selecting some CPU processor.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah, can we even configure or customize the hardware? Like they are using some Intel processor that is not in our hands, right? But AWS uses it.
Yes, it's not Intel based. They have their own process. Okay, it's all about the performance. Okay, so you can read the documentation. You can see the gigahertz. According to that, the performance will be increased. Okay.
Okay, and just one more question on certification. Like, what's the main difference between the solution architect and developer certification?
70% the syllabus is common for solutions architect and developer, Prithvi. Okay, 30% services, the 4 to 5 services which are differing from the developer certificate and solutions architect. But the preferred certification is in the industry solutions architect. Even though you're from the developer background, this is the preferred certification in the market. Okay.
Okay, and just a compliment for today's session. Like, since we are looking at all these key pairs or PPK keys, so we understood the background what we use in regular software field.
Exactly.
That was very nice. Actually, just we upload the keys normally, but now you are explaining the code.
Okay. Yes.
That was very helpful, Sunil. Thank you.
Thank you, Prithvi. Please be regular and do hands-on. That very interesting.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay. And the live training, Prithvi, live training is free. But the recordings for the first couple of sessions, it will be shared in the WhatsApp group, but you have to pay for the recordings. Okay. And for the recordings, you have to pay 999. By paying a nominal amount of 999, you get all the recordings right from day 1 to 25 days. So all the recordings you'll get it by 999. This is not only for Prithvi, just want to show you the information. Live training is absolutely free. Recordings, if you want, you can just pay 999 so that you can also get the recordings for lifetime access. So whenever you want to revise, you can do that. Okay, Prithvi, thank you very much.
That helps.
Thank you very much, Prithvi. Yes. So a couple of more interactions before ending. It's already, we are running out of time, but let's have interaction. Baba Fakiruddin, how are you doing? Fakiruddin, how are you? Any quick questions? 1 minute, please. Any questions, please raise your hand. Yes, Brooks.
Hi, Sunil. Good evening.
Yes, I can hear you. How are you doing? You're from which location?
I'm from the US.
How is today's session?
It's very excellent. Well, I wish to thank you very much for the good job you're doing.
Thank you. How do you happen to know about our training details?
A friend of mine sent the link to me.
Okay.
That was how I knew about the group.
Okay. Yes, your technical question, Brooks. Anything?
Yeah. So yesterday we learned about creating a Windows server to the Linux, and we use our .pem key to connect to both machines in depending on what machine. But my question is, what if we happen to lose the PEM key?
Yes, in case if you lose a PEM key, Brooks, there is an option. It's a 7-step process where we can regenerate the PEM keys. Okay, if time permits, I'll show you how can we regenerate the PEM keys. It's a turnaround solution for it. Okay.
Thank you.
Anything more, Brooks?
No, I think that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Venkat Ram Edla.
Good evening, sir.
Hi, Venkat. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. Thanks for the today's session, sir.
You know really AWS? Good. You know AWS, or is the first time you're learning, Venkat?
No, sir. I come from mechanical branch, and this is my first time.
So I hope you're comfortable, even though you're from non-IT.
Yes, sir. I'm comfortable because I have listened your demo videos in YouTube, sir.
Okay.
Durga Tech.
Okay. Okay, good, Venkat. So stay focused. First, you have to remove from your mind saying that I'm non-technical guy. Understand the concept, whether it is non-technical or technical, both are equivalent. We have to understand the concept and get the grip over the subject. Okay, I strongly recommend you to learn DevOps also along with AWS, so that you finally end up switching your dream job to IT. Okay, Venkat. There are many success stories for this also. Okay, so just follow the path.
I have a query, sir.
Yes, question. Yes.
Sir, yesterday I tried to log into this AWS but I have a RuPay card, sir. I don't have a MasterCard. So I used my sister's phone number and her MasterCard, but it is not accepting. So what should I do? Should I take a MasterCard?
So you have to altogether use your sister mobile numbers. Everything is your sister's values.
Including credentials.
Including, not email address can be anything, but the point is mobile number, the debit card belongs to one person. Okay.
And the starting name, the name, initial name, account
user
name.
Give your sister's name. Okay. That's the right thing. Okay, Venkat. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you all. I hope you have enjoyed the session. So tomorrow's plan, never miss load balancer, which is very, very critical, frequently asked question in the interview, but don't worry, from our end, it will be very clear. Thank you all and see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Thank you.